So, for me, the reason why Long COVID Awareness Day is personal for me is because of my own experience with Long COVID, which has been for the last 4 years. So, that's a long story, but this is what I can share. It started in March 2020. Initially, we thought it's asthma, my asthma, but we tried different things. It wasn't asthma. And my body just wanted me to sit and rest. I'm a pharmacist, and there's no way I could have done my job sitting and resting. So I was off sick for work for 3 months. I went back with adjustments because I couldn't, just needed to sit and rest. It was difficult, very difficult, such that, and I've only shared this in my blog, which I write, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, at the beginning of the week, at the end of the day on my drive home, I would be in tears because it was so clear. Despite the adjustments I had, it was still difficult. It was still difficult to do my job. I was so breathless, but I felt I had to keep going because for me, I didn't see any other way of taking care of myself and earning money and taking care of myself. So I felt I had to keep going. But after a certain point, I couldn't go on. And I made the decision to change my role, a decision which was also impacted by other things. But in the end, I did decide I had to change what I do. And that's how I ended up as a health coach. And even when I landed in health coaching, it was so clear to me that the people I would want to support were people who had experienced long COVID like myself, because I'd walked that journey, was still walking through that journey. So the journey was long. The journey was one where I had to consistently fight for myself to be heard. So that made it frustrating because sometimes you'll find that not many clinicians or doctors know about it, and so they don't know how to manage it. They don't know what to say to you, and so in doing so, they can say things which can be inaccurate and can just really be frustrating. So I remember on two occasions, the question that was asked was, "Are you sure it's not anxiety?" And that was frustrating. That was annoying. It made me angry because I'm here telling you my symptoms. I need help. You're the only person, in terms of a human being who can help me. And instead of acknowledging what I'm telling you, you're discrediting what I'm telling you. And the fact that you're already poorly and then you have to fight and advocate for yourself, it was frustrating. And so the journey involved lots of testing, and the test just would not show why my body wants me to sit and rest, why I'm breathless, why I get breathless just walking 2 steps, why I'm breathless just standing when I'm not doing anything, why I'm breathless when I'm just literally. I remember there was one time I was trying to load the dishwasher and I was putting 2 cups I had used into the dishwasher. And my body just felt like I'd run a marathon. And I used to have an oximeter to check on my pulse, and my pulse rate would go up. And I haven't even done anything. So, not knowing what was going on was frustrating. Not getting the support I needed in terms of being acknowledged that, yes, you're going through something, and even acknowledging that, you know what, I don't know what it is, but let's try and support you. All that was a difficult journey. And so this is just my own story. There are so many other people, as I said in the other video. Over 1.8 million people in the UK alone are living with long COVID. And so their story may be similar, but the impact is going to be different because we're all different and we all experience our experiences in different ways because we've also had other things in our lives which have happened to us. And so on this Long COVID Awareness Day, remember, not everyone recovers fully from COVID. Not everyone gets a chance to go back to the life that they lived before being infected by COVID. And 4 years later, Some people are still living with long COVID in ways that you cannot imagine. And so it's impacted their lives again in ways that you can't imagine. For some people, I remember one story that really was heartbreaking. Was one of our GP, and because of her symptoms, she was no longer able to work, and she eventually had to go on benefits, on welfare, to be able to be supported. A whole GP. And that's not to say that, other people with other occupations, it's okay for them to experience that. Not at all. And this is the story of so many people who have gone through long COVID, who are still living with long COVID. And there was one story out of many stories out there, of a young boy, a young guy in his 20s, and living with the illness was too much for him, and he took his own life. So this is why long COVID awareness is important, so that people can understand. Yes, there was a pandemic. Yes, COVID was there, is there, and will be there for whoever knows how long, but it's going to be part of our lives. But in all that, there's some people all over the world, not just in the UK, who have just not recovered. And it's important to know this so we can support them in some way.